Hey everyone, my name's thenextarcher, and by popular demand, I'm going to be doing an update on my latest version of my survival kit, or my camping kit. Now, this is still using the VanQuest EDCM Huge. I love the different VanQuest organizers, as they can store a lot of stuff. As you can see how large this is. I know a lot of people ask, so the weight of this survival kit is about 5 pounds currently. So let's go ahead and dig into it, and I'll show you some of the items. Hasn't changed as much as it has in some previous years, but one of the reasons is I'll try to add something new or replace something, and I'll be like, I'm going to go back to what I had, and then you don't see a change at all with that particular item. So anyways, let's get into what I have here. So starting on the right hand side, we have my absolutely favorite saw that I've been able to find for a kit this size, and that is the Silky Pocket Boy. Awesome, awesome saw. Super aggressive teeth. You can do some real cutting with this, especially something that can fit in here. Super efficient saw, made in Japan. They are not the cheapest saw either. I think they're probably about 40 bucks, but still super comfortable. Totally worth adding to your kit. So we'll put that there. Next we have some Condor. I believe these are the arrowheads. Yep. So little, I believe these are either carbon steel or 420 HC, and you have 3 of these arrowheads. I've made a video on attaching these and creating a little spear. Super neat. And that is more of a survival item. You have to be careful with adding things like this to a survival kit or one that you're going to bring camping, because if you're in certain areas, you may not actually be able to include stuff like that, or you may get in legal trouble. Next down here, I keep this, what is this? The Havalon, basically a folding scalpel. Works very efficiently for filleting fish, for skinning animals. I would probably use it just for filleting fish and that type of thing. So this is a liner lock as well, and that is a actual scalpel blade in there. That is what I have loose, so let's just start digging into this middle area. So we have a New Myth fire piston. This one is actually discontinued. Not a very efficient survival item, but one that I enjoy having in my kit more as a camping item. And what you use it for is, basically you put a little piece of tinder in here, you smack this down very quickly, it creates a compression in here. That compression creates heat, which turns into an ember, which you can then use to start a fire. Not very efficient for survival though, because you do have to have this greased, you do have to have very dry char cloth or dry tinder of some sort, so wouldn't want to rely on it as a survival item, but fun for camping, especially when you're with other people trying to show them something new. Also in this middle area, I have a pair of Knipex or Knipex Cobras. I think these are the extra small size. Very efficient, small pliers. A lot of people are EDCing these now. For a lighter, I have the Soto. This is an extendable jet lighter. Very nice for being able to get into a bundle of sticks that you wouldn't be able to reach like a Bic lighter in. This is one that I've kind of been testing out more recently. I previously had a Bic lighter in here and replaced it with this. So we'll see if I end up switching back or staying with the Soto. So far, I do like that. We have a Carpenter's pencil sharpener. Fantastic for making small shavings. Just to basically take a stick and you get pencil shavings. Super effective. Much more effective than trying to create shavings with a knife or something. Just something simple works well. We have a little wrench here. This So I got this at a flea market, I think for $1. Better Grip is the brand, but little wrench, a super effective, this is called a pocket bellow. Basically it is similar to a car antenna. You pull it out and you blow in one end, the other end you would have on a fire, or you would have in the fire, and makes it so that you don't have to have your face directly in that smoke or in the coals, and you're able to start a fire much easier, or keep a fire going. For a flint strike or a ferrocerium rod, I have a Light My Fire steel, as you can see right here. Of course, this one's a new one. When I use it, I replace them. For one of my flashlights, I have a Meritech AAA. Very effective flashlight, runs on AAA, but I think that's 90 lumens, or up to 90 lumens, as well as has kind of a firefly mode that would last a very long time at a low lumen. Now that I've shown one flashlight, my main flashlight though is this WowTac A2S. Awesome flashlight. I think that's 1,000 or 1,100 lumens. WowTac I don't think actually makes flashlights anymore, at least not that I could find. These were super nice for the price. I think it was like $30 at the time. This is actually one of their headlamp lights. Rechargeable. Uses one of these. What are they called? 18650 batteries. So really like rechargeable flashlights. They're nice because you don't have to keep buying some of those expensive lithium batteries. You can just recharge them. We have a little folding saw by DermaSafe. The reason I have this saw in addition to this large one, this one is fantastic for creating notches and that type of stuff, for placing the arrowheads as well as the gig heads that I have. And so those are back here. So there are some, I think these are called the pocket pikes here, that are fantastic gigs. So you can see just how sharp those are. I've also had a video on these where basically add that to a stick, you have a very effective gig, and then I use this to be able to saw down a stick in order to attach this. This pocket boy is too aggressive in order to basically cut a stick long ways. This is just, you won't be able to do that easily with something with much finer teeth, much easier, although this is super uncomfortable, the handle is. But it is effective and very lightweight. For a whistle, I have a Vargo titanium whistle, nice and small, and it does have kind of a necklace, or it does have a necklace on there, in case you want to attach it there. Just gotta put that right back. We have some orange flagging tape. We have a little Altoids tin with different tinders in it. We have some S-Bit tablets, some Zippo, wax, some char cloth, different things that you can start a fire with. We have some tarp clips right here, which can be used to, of course, clip onto some fabric and then use some string to hang up a tarp or other shelter. I do have some shelter materials in here, which I'll be getting to later. What I would attach, or what I would use these with, is this tarred nylon string or tarred nylon rope. Farther down here, I have some silicone oil and a miniature bottle of Tabasco sauce. because so many people comment on it and say that I don't need it in my survival kit, so I have it in my survival kit. Next is a little tin of wax and cotton. Very efficient just to easily start fires. Basically fluff that up a little bit, catch that on fire, and then you can have it under some sticks to start a fire quickly. Right next to it we have a few different bits, so flatheads, Torx, Phillips, and then for the actual bit driver I have this this is a Topeak ratcheting driver. This thing is fantastic. So ratchets down either way. I believe this is from a bicycle kit, basically a maintenance kit. Very nice. Probably the smallest, most efficient driver that I could include in here. Really like that. I used to have a different style, but this one blew it out in terms of quality and usefulness, so really like that one. For a flint striker, I have this Corona sharpener, so it's actually a carbide tool sharpener. However, due to it being carbide, that's very hard, and there's 90-degree edges, it will throw sparks like crazy. You do have to find kind of the correct pairing of striker with ferrocerium rod. It works well with the Light My Fire steel, but I found some of them that instead of really pulling off a lot of sparks, it wants to chatter against the ferro rod, so it will start creating like divots in it rather than really doing a smooth pull of lots of sparks. So kind of have to pair those up nicely, but once you do find that pair, you can get some huge sparks. I have some sharpeners. These are the DMT. I find it strange that they don't put on the back of these what the grit is. So on these two, I've just put it myself. So that's the fine, extra fine, and I believe this is coarse, maybe? Yeah, I think. I don't know. I think that's the coarse. Yeah, it would have to be because I definitely didn't get a extra coarse. In the back here, we have a Hydro Blue 3-stage filter. So first stage is kind of cheap, or it's kind of like a 2-stage filter in my mind. So you have a little carbon filter on the end here, and then the ceramic tubes on the inside. So kind of like a life straw, or a little bit better than life straw due to that carbon filter in there. But very efficient due to the size. You're able to fit it in these types of kits. With the life straw, they are much bigger. And then I do have a extra carbon filter right here. So there you go. For a main knife in this kit, of course I always have one on my belt, but in this kit I have the SE Azula with a paracord wrapped handle. Very comfortable. I do like that paracord because it's a little bit of padding. Really like that knife. I had gotten an Azula 2 right here, which is the exact same blade with a micarta handle. It's a little bit of a different shape, as you can see there. But that's just, it's a little bit too tough. It's not as comfortable to use. So I do like having that paracord handle that's a little bit squishy. Some Knipex bolt cutters. These are incredibly efficient. I've been able to cut nails with them. You may be wondering, what survival uses is there for bolt cutters? There's a few of them. If you need to get somewhere that has maybe, let's say, a fence blocking you, you could use these. It's going to be more efficient than trying to baton through it with a knife or something. These are very efficient, but make sure what you're doing is legal. Next is kind of a fun item, at least in my mind, is a little titanium grappling hook by Meritech. So, one that I've had for a long time. It's cool, but I hesitate to use because it was expensive for what it is. They were originally made for EOD bomb disposal. So basically made to throw on a tripwire and pull it to detonate bombs from a distance. But still pretty cool. Realistically, you could use it to pull down, let's say, a branch that's sticking down that you're not wanting to have your tent under. I have 4 titanium tent stakes. These I use for a few things. One of them is for my hammock. I, of course, have a tarp with that, so need tent stakes to go with those, as well as for the stove I have in here. I place these on there so that you can set a water bottle on top. I'll show that in a little bit once I get to the stove. In the back still, I have a marbles spearhead. So, rather large, I think that's 5-inch, maybe 6-inch blade. Would be very effective. Not ultra sharp, but I mean it will get its job done. I made this little kydex sheath for it because it did not come with a sheath, but works effectively. At least that sheath does. Some Sawyer Picaridin insect repellent, very effective. Do not get DEET if you're going to have it in this type of case, because DEET will melt plastic, or it will melt plastic. I've had a watch ruined by DEET, I've had sunglasses ruined by DEET, clothing. It just eats into anything plastic or nylon, so keep that in mind. For a pen, I have a Pilot Jotter. I think it has the Fisher Space Pen insert, so you can write underwater, upside down, in space, all that fun stuff with that insert. So I think that side's empty. Going to this side, we have a little Write in the Rain notebook with a little lens, Fresnel lens. You can start fire with that. And then I believe I have some replacement blades for the Havalon in there. I believe that's all I have in that. And then this is, the Write in the Rain notebook is where it's waterproof paper, basically. Inside I have a few addresses to different places in Red River Gorge, because that's my favorite place to go camping. We also have a signal mirror. Push it back in there. Let's flip that down so it's not in the camera. In this pocket, I have a little pocket fishing kit where I have fishing string, bobbers, a bass stopper, basically a pre-strung worm, different baits, hooks, some additional fishing string, weights, power bait, and I have a Dermasafe knife in here as well. I have made a video on just this little pocket fishing kit. I really like how this one turned out. I also have some little eyelets that you can basically screw into a stick to make kind of a makeshift fishing rod. Kind of a neat little kit in itself. So that's all I have in those two pockets. Now we have this zipper in the back. This just keeps going and going. Yeah. And here I have a Ziploc bag with aqua tablets. So while this is nice, it does not kill viruses. So aqua tabs, that will kill viruses, bacteria, the stuff that this cannot filter out because it's too small. So the combination of these two are going to keep you the safest possible, at least to my knowledge. I'm not an absolute expert, but that is what I have in my kit for water. I also have these Whirlpack stand-up water bags to store water as well. For a stove, I have the titanium hexagon wood stove, which I have modified by drilling holes into the side here to give it a little bit more oxygen. So basically you put sticks in here and it concentrates, or it kind of funnels up, so air goes beneath and through these holes and the heat comes on top. And then I can throw these tent stakes like this and set a water bottle right here to boil water efficiently. We have a foil mylar rescue blanket, pretty basic. Yeah, that will keep you at least a little bit warm. With a combination of that and this plastic drop cloth, you can make a decent shelter, kind of like a super shelter if you need it. An emergency poncho, kind of self-explanatory, and some disposable paper sunglasses. So one thing that makes it very hard to survive is not being able to see. So those are nice. So I keep those both in this kit as well as I have a few pairs in my car. Won't exactly look cool wearing them, but they are good in case of emergencies. So that, I think, is everything inside. I already mentioned these clips. Basically, can use that in combination with this drop cloth, as well as the mylar blanket to set up a shelter. On the outside here, I do have some zip ties, some duct tape, or Gorilla Tape technically. And then I have some zip ties also in like the handle, kind of put around here. And I think that is everything. So that is my latest version of my survival kit, or my going out camping with some survival elements kit. Hopefully you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Bye.